one night around my 25th birthday, God spoke to me in a dream. Now, if you ever have a genuinely miraculous encounter, and I've had a number of them, I've written a book about miracles, and I've had a number of miraculous encounters. When I say miraculous, I don't mean sorta. I mean miraculous, where you're just freaked out. God is so real. What do I do? If some people have had those experiences and whatever. I've had some genuinely miraculous experiences. I've had many, many friends that have had genuinely. There's no doubt that God is real, but he doesn't show up, when you snap your fingers. So in this dream, Jesus revealed himself to me in such a way that I had zero doubt that it was real. Zero doubt that it was real. And if you go to my website, it's just my name, ericmetaxas.com. There's a video. I Am Second did a video. I've spoken about it. It's in one of my books. But it was one of those experiences that you realize that was not just a dream. That was God speaking to me in a way that was supernatural, because I was so messed up intellectually. There's no way I could reason my way. I needed God. It's kind of like you're in a room and there's no windows and no doors and you're stuck. You're trapped. And it's like God needs to punch a hole through the sheetrock. Boom, I'm here. I'm out here. I'm really here. That's what that dream was. It was so real that before that, I was convinced either there's no God, or if there is, we can't know about him. We can't know him personally, and everybody says that they do are nuts. They're religious nuts, God bless them, but they're nuts. That was my worldview, and that was the worldview of everybody that I knew and all the sophisticated friends that I had made and whatever. And that night, God revealed himself to me as real. And I woke up and I had zero doubt. Jesus is Lord. The Bible is true. And I had joy in my heart that I had never had in my life before. Now, that's just my story. That's just my story. But the point is, that happened to me. I was 25. And I immediately, if you want proof, of that, I immediately stopped sleeping with my girlfriend of 3 years, because God was so real to me. I could feel his presence, and I didn't want to ever lose that, because that was the best thing I had ever tasted in my life. So I immediately changed. And that's to me the most significant, because it's like, who does that? Well, I did that. I said, I know I don't want that. I know God has that for marriage, and he's got that. He has a different, I want whatever God has done. I want what he has, because I now know he's real. And I got to tell you, folks, when Jesus came into my life like that, everything changed. Everything changed. When Jesus came into my life, I say it was like going to sleep single and waking up married. Everything, it was like, I'm in a new world. What do I do now? And so I just asked God to lead me and guide me, and he's led me in sometimes genuinely miraculous ways. And listen, I don't say that lightly. I don't mean like, well, it was sort of a miracle. No. God is real, and he wants to reveal himself to you. And it's not about theology. Sometimes I think a lot of Christians fall in love with theology, and they like to quote Bible verse and talk theology. God wants you to have an experience with him. He is a person, he is alive, and he wants to have a relationship with you. Why? Because without him, you can never truly be yourself. Without him, you're like a car without gas. You can't do what you're supposed to do. And we live in a world that lies to you and says, oh yeah, if you give your life to Jesus, he's going to take away all the fun, and he's going to whatever. That is the devil lying to you, because you can never know joy and meaning and purpose without him. And I'm just here to tell you that the ramifications are infinite. They're infinite. It's the sort of thing that it sounds too good to be true, except it is true. It is the heart of all truth. There is no truth, there is no goodness apart from him. And I think to myself, I know I didn't deserve for him to come in my life that way, miraculously. Somehow, I don't know, this is the mystery, but he changed everything in my life. And when he changes lives, everything follows from that. When you look in history, all the books that I have written, every one of them is about, well, not everyone, but most of them are about Jesus changing things in history. The slave trade is abolished through William Wilberforce because Wilberforce becomes a Christian and he understands the slave trade is sick and wicked. Slavery is wicked. And he devotes himself in politics to abolish the slave trade. And everything follows. When Jesus comes into a culture, when Jesus comes into life, stuff changes. Jesus changes everything. Jesus makes the fallen world in which we live, men and women are enemies. When Jesus comes in, all of that changes. You want to see what a world looks like without Jesus? Look at the Islamic world. Do you know how they treat women in the Islamic world? How sick it is? How anti-woman it is? How broken it is? We're living in a world, folks, that the culture has lied and lied and lied, and I bought that lie for 25 years. Jesus wants to have a relationship with every human being. He wants to bless you. He wants to show you things about yourself and about your future, and he wants to lead you and guide you. He cannot do that unless you give your heart to him, unless you believe that he's not someone to be scared of. He's someone to run toward. And if there's any part of you that is not yet submitted to him, maybe you think you're a Christian, but there's a part of your life you've not turned over to him, you're being very foolish. Because God will bless you. He wants to bless every part of your life, and it is simply our job to say, yes, Lord, I'm gonna give you a chance to do that. If there's anybody here tonight who has not done that, I beg you, run to this altar when they ask you to do that, because it is the moment for which you were born. God bless you.